Hey witches, it's Willow Moonlight here. Currently, it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I am doing a bunch of night shifts at work. However, I have a day off right in the middle of all my night shifts. So I am deciding to stay up for a little while. Tomorrow, I do have a parcel that is coming in the mail to help me further guide me in my journey with Hecate. However, that's not what tonight is about. Tonight, I want to share with you a story of mine about my journey through witchcraft. So to start, I'm going to light I have some candles lit. I'm going to light another candle, and I have some cedar and some lavender incense that I'm going to burn. And I am also currently drinking some lavender and chamomile tea. Okay, so get comfortable and I will begin the story. So today's story comes from the year 2018. My mother had a close family member who was in quite a bit of trouble. This was my grandparents, actually, specifically my grandfather. He was not very kind to my mother during times that she was in need. My grandparents have called my mother a whore. They've called her a tramp, and was kicked out of her family home at a young age and was turned away several times when she really needed that help and guidance. Her parents just weren't there for her. They did not support her. It always seems, though, that when my grandparents are in trouble, my mom is always there for them. They always turn to my mother when there is a family crisis. And I mean, they never really liked me either. They prefer other grandchildren over me. So I don't really have a positive relationship with them. And I'm not even going to try to start. So when there were problems about a year ago with my grandparents, my mother just seemed to be caught in the middle of everything. So a year or so ago, things hit rock bottom. My grandparents were fighting with each other, and it was so out of control. They were contemplating a separation. It just so happened my parents' tenants had moved out of a rental property that my parents owned. So Mom offered my grandfather to move in. he accepted her offer. Every day he kept coming over to our house and would talk to my mom. He was full of rage. My mother's phone rang constantly. She just dreaded picking up that phone because she knew it was him. And of course, if she wouldn't pick up her phone, he would be at the house. So it was really hard. He was just full of rage, and he always wanted mom to deal with the crisis. I even have one vivid memory of him being outside on our deck with mom, and all I kept hearing him scream over and over and over again is, "It's not true, it's not right, it's not true, it's not right." I don't even really know what he was going on about. However, he was just being so disruptive to our household. So, as his moving date grew closer, my mother just grew more tired, more frustrated, and the stress was really getting to her. She was just irritated, and there was just all this negativity that was spilling over in our home. Me, mom, and dad, there's just so much tension. There was a lot of ranting that was going on, uh, little arguments. My father grumbled about everything. And you have to see, my father does not get along with my grandparents. They actually haven't spoken to each other in not quite 30 years, maybe 25 years. I think in 25 years they may have spoken, or they have spoke to each other once or twice, and it was always, in those two instances that I can think of, it was always, like a family crisis sort of situation. But anyway, things were just getting worse. My father just had no respect, but he decided to stand back because there was nothing more that he could do or say to get my mother to understand. So one day my mom and my aunt were out on a big shopping trip to buy things for my grandfather. And I was done. The person who treated my mother poorly was getting attention from her, using her resources, her emotional labor, everything. She was handing this over, no questions asked. This was not right. He does not deserve her. I went to my shelf and grabbed a spell book of mine. I have several, but I grabbed one in particular, and I wanted to banish him from our family home. So for my spell ingredients, I'm going through the list and collecting everything. The spell was pretty simple. It involved a bulb of garlic that you drive a key into. And after you would leave the spell at your window. So the problem was I did not have a key. The key I owned was a house key, which I needed. I thought, aha, I will go upstairs and check by the door. We used to have this Like when you opened up the cupboard, there were some hooks that were driven into one of the boards, and we had all kinds of keys that were hanging in the cupboard. But when I opened up the cupboard, there was nothing, there were no keys. There was nothing there. Even the hooks were gone. So I was starting to feel a little bit stressed out because, time was of the essence. My mother was on the shopping trip and Dad was at work, and I only had so much time to conduct the spell without being interrupted because, of course, my parents have no idea that I practice witchcraft, or at least if they know, they don't say anything. If one of them was to know, it would be my mother. To, look through my stuff again. For my 16th birthday years ago, I asked for this wooden keepsake box that had a gold plate on it, that had my name on it, and I kept little, momentums and little memories in this box. So I knew that there was a key for that box, or well, actually there were 2 keys for that box, and I thought I could use one of those keys for the spell. And of course, I decided before to do the spell, I got sidetracked and started looking through the keepsake box. And I looked at all the, little concert tickets, movie tickets, pieces of jewelry, like an old mood ring I had in there, and some pamphlets and cassette tapes from psychics that I've gone to see. And as I was digging through, I noticed something. Lo and behold, it was the original key to the rental property my parents owned. I was speechless. Oh my. So I cleansed my space and created the sacred space, cast a circle, called on Hecate and the Horn God, and I started performing the spell. And the spell was left on my windowsill, which was right above my altar in my bedroom. A few days later, my tired mother came into the house inside for lunch and threw her hands up in the air, saying, "Your grandfather decided to move out." I just smiled and laughed. She had no idea what was going on. And all I could think to myself was, damn, I'm good.